Hello, bonjour. Welcome back to another episode of HomeCookin. Got the blessed one over here. And on the other side of the call, we have the chef as per usual. Alan, how are you doing?
Hey, man, trying to make the most of what's happening.
Awesome. Okay. Well, what's on the menu?
Yeah, so for the lucky listeners today, our episode will feature something new that me and Bluska have been cooking up. And I think it's something that people will gravitate towards. So what we've been thinking is to have sort of episodes centered around people. And we're going to call it Lifin'. We're going to have, and Bluska's going to introduce our lucky guest here and someone that we are very, very close to knowing. And we're just going to talk about life topics. And for this episode particularly, we're going to touch on the concept of like modern loneliness, and we're also going to touch on long distance relationships and all that fun stuff. So, Bluska, our guest over here, who is she?
Yeah, so we got Cassandra G, the one and only. She's been a friend of ours for. We go pretty back, don't we, Cassandra?
I've known Alan since we were 3. Well, I was 3. And then Bluska we met in like grade 7 or something.
There's some history there with that with that first conversation. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I currently live in Washington, USA, in a like a small suburb town here. I'm married to one of your best friends.
Okay.
And I'm currently just cruising through COVID.
So to start you off and warm you up, we're gonna hit you off with some quick trivia questions.
Ooh.
If that's cool with you.
Yep.
Okay. So, movies or books?
Books.
Okay.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Cooking and eating in or eating out?
Ooh. Eating out.
Walks or hikes?
Hikes.
Night or day?
Day.
Blue or red?
Blue.
Road trips or flights?
Road trips.
And I'm gonna hit you with the big one. Seattle or London?
Oh, damn. Ooh. I mean, Seattle has a lot of pros.
Are you kidding me?
It's a lot nicer.
Are you kidding me?
It's prettier.
Honestly, I've seen the mountains. Those pictures. It always makes me feel like you're like Narnia or like some sort of like.
It's crazy.
Wintry.
Beautiful. London has all my friends and family, so that's the one notch of positivity. But it's really beautiful here, so I can't complain. / I would probably pick Seattle.
Oh
yeah, the Christmas photo shoots are gonna be elite with those mountains in the back. But anyways, Alan, why don't you take us to our first topic?
So, Bluska, the first segment in our episode today and of our quote unquote life series, life-in type of like series that we're gonna try to get into, especially with regards to some certain guests that we want to dig a little bit deeper and have those like nice conversations. We're talking about modern loneliness here. I remember sending you this song that inspired me to come up for this segment for this episode, and the song by Lauv, talking about modern loneliness, has some really deep lyrics, and I'll give you an example. And Cassandra, you can just dive right in and give us like your interpretation about like modern loneliness in general and of the song if you want to. But yeah, like modern loneliness, we're never alone, but we're always depressed. You love love my friends to death, but I never call and I never text. Communication there, man. And just, Cassandra, what do you think about these lyrics and the song?
I think it's just implying that like we are constantly surrounded by technology like Instagram and Snapchat and text messaging, and we have like a direct line to our friends, but you can still feel depression and you can still feel alone in these moments because sometimes it's not real. There's a lot of fake happiness out there that people seem to post. I'm totally guilty of doing it, making everything seem perfect when sometimes it probably isn't, and sometimes you need a little help from people.
But Cassandra, do you never call and never text? Like, do you reach out to people? Do you feel that like in a world that we're super connected? And throwback to our episode about social media, Bluska, how like you have the phone beside you, you're on social media, but it's so hard to just make that leap. Like, do you think that you feel that the same? You experienced that, Cassandra, or
Sure.
what?
Oh yeah, being all the way in Seattle, I definitely noticed I could probably reach out to certain friends more or make more time to schedule like a phone call with them. But life does get super busy, and with time differences and everyone's schedule, I don't think it's an expectation people should like feel like they need to do. Like, I don't think you should feel the need to always contact your friends or family. Like, they know you love them. It's not going to change because you don't call one week.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of getting just distracted by whatever is in front of me, you know, like whether it's like a project or whatever is on the computer. It's just like it's really absorbing, and you know, really it takes away from just the regular relationships that are like in front of you and people that you might not have seen in a long time. But I also believe that, you know, some of the bonds you make are just strong enough to stand those tests of times, and we should all like aim to have friendships that are always like, hey, it's like we never ever miss a beat, and when we're back together again, it's like it's just joy, you know, jubilation. That's a good word.
I was
Jubilation.
literally going to say what you said. Like, when
Are you guys kidding me?
No, when there's those friendships where you like haven't seen each other or talked to each other in a bit, but like the moment you see each other in person, you just like pick back up to where you left off, basically. And there's no
Right.
anger, annoyance at not like texting each other because you just know that everything's okay.
Well, like, I don't know. You guys are. I totally agree with that, and I feel that in my friendships and relationships with people, I always have like had that where even like you guys obviously are closer to me than a lot of the friends that I have, and it can be hard to. I don't know. Maybe I'm different in the way where I feel that you can still find a way to communicate and reach out to other people. And maybe I'm just more modern lonely than you guys. Yeah, like even one of the lyrics right after that, I want to see your guys' opinions on. It talks about how like you get what you give and you give what you get, right? And if you're satisfied with how things are and with your content with your situation, like obviously people have stuff going on, but I think it's always nice to be able to take that leap and use your phone, use your like accounts to just maybe reach out if you could. Or maybe I'm just too modern lonely.
I think it's more based around like a communication style, like how you communicate your feelings to people. Like, some people show it through talking to other people, right? Like that they like them or enjoy their company. Other people, it's gifts.
Right.
Some people, it's just a silent happiness.
Yeah.
So that could be yours. Could just
Silent
be
what?
like,
Give me an example.
you know, like,
It's just like
sorry, David Kang, I'm going to throw you out here. David can be like silent forever, and then he has like the nicest thing ever to say to you, and it just like makes up for his silence.
Interesting. Okay. Bleska?
yeah, I feel like it's kind of similar to how people have different love languages. Like,
Yeah,
there's like communication, there's touch, there's like presence. Like, everybody has a different way of you know, feeling. So that's where I guess misunderstandings can definitely happen in terms of just like in terms of going along this journey of, you know, modern loneliness. Because at the end of the day, like once we put those phones down, we're still like by ourselves and we're still in our own heads. And so I think you know, everybody should just be a little, you know, cognizant of someone might need a little bit more affirmation of some sorts, and that's where, you know, you learn about these as you go along your friendships, you know.
yeah, or like grow in relationships. Same thing. You just have to you have to know what the other person's love language is and what they need from you, and that's how you're a good friend.
Okay, so how about this? On the last thing I want to bring up when it comes to this particular topic, and Cassandra, you can take the first take. Similar on the lines of the same topic. Before we go into the second segment of the episode, so friendships, you know, like I feel like, do you feel, Cassandra, it's harder now to develop those stronger bonds, especially like you mentioned earlier how like some of your relationships and like the really good ones and good friendships are the ones where even if you're not connected so often through like either messaging or calling or interactions per se, and then you end up reconnecting with them at a later date and it's like nothing ever happened. Like, is it hard? Like, do you feel like it's harder now for you to experience that, like outside of what's happening currently in the world? Like, do you just think as like at our current like age group or like what we do on the day to day, like it's hard to get that type of friendship or what?
I'm really grateful because all of my friendships have been from like are super strong because they're from like beginning of high school or elementary school. Like you guys are from elementary, like our friend group is from elementary school. And so I feel like I can't really vouch for that. I can vouch for the fact that I am all the way across the world, basically, from you guys. And it's COVID, so we haven't been home in a year. So it is kind of hard when you get to see friends going for hikes and like you can't be involved or there for those things, or like friends buying a house and you want to be there for like a housewarming, but that's not an option right now. So I do feel the loneliness on that half, but that circumstance, I don't think it has anything to do with like the way the friendship is.
But do you believe that like just nowadays it's harder to become friends with people?
Yes, I think so. But I also think it depends on your personality. Like some people just make friends easier than others, and then some people are willing to make friends easier than others. But definitely maintaining a relationship now might be harder because you don't know how genuine people are all the time.
Blaska?
I definitely agree with Cassandra. I started realizing that we're really lucky that we've been friends for so long and that it's like withstood the test of time, because not everybody has that kind of, it's like almost, it's family essentially, you know. It's like we have a bond that goes beyond just the university or like, you know, the drama, like all that stuff to us is like doesn't really exist, you know. So I feel like in that sense it's we're lucky. But same thing with Cassandra, some people are more willing to look for these friendships, and people also have different type of goals and different types of likes, and I think that also like plays a big part in just being able to stay together through a long period of time, whether there's distance or not.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel that, yeah, like Blaska, I'm the same way. I feel very grateful for all the people that are around me and the friends that we have. We might not necessarily have the same types of likes or even like hobbies at the time, right? But we still find a way to make it work, keep us together, and try to make up for like the world that is today, and even outside of like world events, you know,
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna
modern loneliness. But
I'm gonna cut you off. It's just like when I'm in football and then I'm busy with practices like 4 or 5 times a week. Then there's a game, and then at the game I see you guys there, and that I might not get those like hours that we usually would get in the summer when we're at the cottage or whatever. But that right there to me, like that takes everything way past like it means a lot. It's just like wow, like they're coming to my games. Maybe football isn't their most like how they want to spend their Saturday in the cold of the fall, or you know what I mean?
yeah,
So like
exactly.
there's little things that go a long way, you know, and that sometimes you just get lucky with finding people that are willing to take those little things.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think we totally, not that we take it for granted, but I don't think we acknowledge how lucky we are as a friend group because it is a very, like when I tell people, yeah, like my best friends are from basically kindergarten, or I married my kindergarten sweetheart. Everyone's like, what?
What?
Like, no way. And I'm like, yeah, basically have the coolest friends ever and husband.
Yeah,